All right, let's go now to the latest on the coronavirus. We're joined now by Anjalee Khemlani. And Anjalee, we see, again, cases rising kind of across the country here and some more. And I know this is kind of right in Dan Roberts' wheelhouse, more commentary from Dr. Fauci, both on the rally that is scheduled for Tulsa tomorrow and also his view on how some of the sports leagues may proceed as we get towards the fall.
That's right. I'm expecting a question from Dan right now. But yes, he did tell CNN that it is possible that football does not happen at all this year. And we've already seen some college games canceled. Meanwhile, we know that we've seen the cases rise as a result of, more engagement outdoors. Something really interesting, though, we know that, part of that mix of why there are rising cases was it partially attributed to protests. We're getting some early data, and I stress the early part, that the protest did not contribute to a significant rise in COVID cases. So definitely an interesting point there. But meanwhile, some of the really important states that we're keeping an eye on, Arizona, Texas, Florida, are really feeling that surge right now. We know the hospitals have been overwhelmed. We just heard today that in Florida, West Palm Beach is seeing some hospitals with little to no adult ICU beds available. Miles?
Anjalee, Dan here. Let's talk about that, actually, the football point. For any of our viewers who might have missed, I just want to quickly read what Fauci said on CNN. And he was talking about football, and both the NFL and college football expect to return and start when they usually do. A lot of these players who've returned for training are testing positive. So Fauci said, unless players are essentially in a bubble, insulated from the community, and tested nearly every day, it would be very hard to see how football is able to be played this fall. So, this kind of just confirms what everyone thought, which is this could be a problem. But what I'd ask you, being our expert on all this, is just to what extent you think Fauci's advice has really been taken as gospel. I mean, we all know it isn't as though football programs are going to see what he just said and say, oh, he's right. Well, let's not do football then.
Right. You make a good point. I think that there are people who are taking his what he's saying as sort of a guideline and caution more than anything else. And we've seen that in what happened in Arizona and Texas, for example. Everyone has been saying, the CDC has been saying, wear masks outdoors, it's recommended. But you saw the governors restrict that for quite some time, and only this week revert and say it's okay to enforce mask wearing outdoors. So definitely, I think a lot, and that's been one of the things, I just want to point out, that's been one of the things that a lot of people have been concerned about enforcement in the US, especially when you look at some of the strict measures that have taken place overseas and the inability to do the same here and what that might mean for our ability to respond to the outbreak.
Yeah, and Anjalee, one of our team members had been out of the city and just came back recently, and they were surprised at how few people in the city were wearing masks. Now, I feel like in the city, everyone wears a mask, and when I've left the city 2 times, it seems like no one wears a mask. But to your point, I think that lack of uniformity by geography and now the political element that's coming in with wearing masks, all of that really muddles the response. And I think that is where certainly Fauci and Deborah Birx and some of those folks might feel a little helpless. Like that, no one cares what the health experts say. They just want to hear kind of what their team says about all this. But this it feels like, again, where the story is certainly headed as we head through the summer towards the election. All right, Anjalee Khemlani with the latest on the coronavirus. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.